Ladies and gentlemen, the world's #1 sports and recreation podcast, Cheap Heat, where we're joined by 37 at 35 Dipperstein.
How are you tonight?
Hey there.
Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to Wrestling Chat.
Hey, welcome to the Wrestling Chat. Oh, and I'm your forever 24/7 champion, Peter Rosenberg. Statguy Greg will be here in moments, I presume. But welcome aboard to what is sure to be an action-packed program. I've had a day and a half. I've had a day and a half today, and it's a triple. I feel like Dipperstein my next 3 days. It's just whew. I don't do well when I have to leave the house and be gone for an extremely long amount of time. The bouncing around from this to that, from this one to that one to the next thing, and then it's and this is going to come as a surprise to some people who may not have children yet. The having kids thing is very exhausting. It adds a whole new layer. I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm not sure if you're. It's literally Bed Bath and Beyond.
I got news for you. I'm still swiping right, buddy. Okay.
Now, are you referring to being like young and in the dating scene, or are you just trying to mention swipe right?
Both.
Listen,
Both at the exact same time.
Listen, swipe
and I
right.
think I succeeded. I did it. I mentioned both.
You did. No, you did mention both. Listen, you should be swiping right. Swipe right up a storm. Anyways, welcome to the program. I got to get my lighting right here, but it's already dark in the house because there's so much high. Oh God, look how bright. Look, you see what's happening?
Oh, you look terrible.
Now Amelia's make, what am I supposed to do with what you're doing, we? All right, so SGG is going to be here. I think in some way, my prediction for SGG today is he'll be predicting having been right always about the Cena story, because the Cena story took a really positive step. That will count as like, it's always been great. See? Whereas, and here he comes, he's showing up right now to tell us that he was always right from the very beginning. He's changed his name on the group chat to SGG the Oracle.
Because I am. Although I was looking too far ahead into the future tonight. When you said 9:30, I thought you meant 9:30 a.m. and not 9:30, 10 o'clock right now. So I had to dial back the oracleness and join you guys in the present. I was too far ahead in the future.
That's
My apologies.
the thing. You're very hard to keep up with when you're so far into the future. But we were just getting to it right now as the physically large joins us. Listen, it goes without saying at this point that I know SGG he has to support his claims of all things Cena. So I know he's happy with what happened. I haven't even heard him yet, but I'm very confident in it. I was very happy with it, and I'll mention in a moment. But the one person that is a true wild card, though I have a hunch that he's going to be happy with it, is Brian Dipperstein.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy the Cena-Cody situation from yesterday?
I think it's trending in a positive direction. It's trending positive.
You're only going as far as trending positive.
It proves that Cena is still a master on the mic, and he is still the top level talent that he's always been. Okay. And Cody, I think, went toe to toe with him extremely well. And the things that were said were impactful and meaningful. But the change that I would make is that not everything like this needs to be so grounded in reality like it is these days.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, we don't have to break the fourth wall as much as we do these days. Like, the whole thing was talking about sort of real life. And in some instances, I really love that. But in this instance, I'd rather just sort of know why he's teaming with The Rock, what The Rock has to do with this, and why all of us. I understand he's turned on the fans, or he believes the fans have turned on him. I'm fine with all that stuff. But I don't need all the sort of breaking kayfabe grounded in reality version of this story. I'd rather it just be heroes and villains. And why is he teaming with The Rock after all this time of him being like sort of an enemy? And
Which we
why
still
do
don't know.
why do they hate Cody Rhodes so much? I don't really hear why he hates Cody Rhodes that much. At the end of the day, I do think it's trending in the right direction, and of course I like the segment. It was really well done. But that's sort of where I'm living at this moment. I need The Rock involved in this more so than he has been.
Okay.
Even if he's not available to be in the ring. I need The Rock involved. I also need them to get out of the ring. I want them out of the ring. I can't just be a shit-talking session every single time. We've been there. More.
We've been there for a long time. They do not leave the ring anymore. Like, I mean, honestly, for big primary stories, I feel like they almost never like. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I hear what you're saying though. It's been a long time.
That's where my head's at with this match.
I think you're not wrong in everything that you said. I liked it more than you're sounding like you liked it. I thought it was like extremely good.
It was good. It was good. I liked it a lot.
But I mean, I feel like I wasn't caught up thinking through as I'm watching it what else needs to be done. Like it sounds to me like you're not wrong. This just explain the difference. But like you were watching it from the standpoint of like, I've been giving takes on this and I do a podcast and here's where I want to see it go. Mm-hmm. I watched it literally just from like, I turned it on for 18 minutes. I was entertained. Now, this is where I will disagree with SGG in things from the last couple weeks. That was not true for me every time, the first 2 times. There were times when I was like, all right, we could wrap this up. Like it's had enough of the which one the longest one was. I
think the first one was like 30 minutes. But which part?
I was like,
because that's how I felt watching these promos. Is like I feel like when Dip came on and when you both came on and said, well, they didn't do this, I wasn't necessarily grading them against what they didn't do. Even right now, everything that Dip said is right? Like he brought up The Rock. We still don't know how Cena and The Rock ended up being like boys like this.
It's
why they
three promos and it's one word so far, basically. Like you know, Cody mentioned it. Cody mentioned it for 1 second.
And his why he hates Cody. I mean, it doesn't really feel that strong to me. Like that Cody was fake and he's protected because, you know, when Cena comes back for that big main event promo, right? Like he did this same thing with Roman. He came back, he went right at Roman for the title. He ended up losing, but he cut basically this same promo about how you've been protected and I'm always going to be around. And if you really want to be the top guy, you need to go through me. He cut it from the babyface standpoint. This time he's a heel, but it really was the same promo. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's not much of a why if you could copy and paste it on who are undoubtedly not only the 2 biggest guys right now, but 2 guys who people would say have moved the company past where you left it. You can't just come back and hit them with the same bars. We need to mix it up. We need to make it unique. You need to actually apply it to them because you're not going to beat the allegations of you haven't changed anything and you haven't evolved. If you turn heel, the biggest heel turn we've seen this century in wrestling, but you keep the music, you keep the gear, you keep the tone of voice in the promos, you keep the same inflections, and you using the same bars, we need some more evolution than what we got. I'm not saying that he's doing bad. I'm not saying that the match is going to flop, but I'm saying that third promo in, we do need a little bit more evolution. You cannot copy and paste the promos.
Okay. Thank you, Greg.
For saying what needed to be said. Yeah.
I feel like I don't need.
It was a fire promo though, but it was copy and paste.
I don't need like the you bury talent and the burying thing. I'm like, okay, like we don't need to like bring the backstage, what people say backstage about him over the years into this.
I see.
It's not necessary. I don't. I just want to know why he all of a sudden decided to team with The Rock and what The Rock and he have against Cody Rhodes. That's pretty much what I want to see, and I'd like to see maybe Triple H involved in it too.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so you're
You
saying
can't
you're
get Triple H and Stone Cold because you said you want to see Stone Cold involved in it too.
he wants everybody in it.
Stone
He
Cold's
wants
just going to do the stunner. That's all we're going to get from Stone Cold. We're not going to get him as part of the story.
Triple
so,
H ain't gonna do nothing. He had a medical.
yeah, he's not
condition.
he's not doing anything.
No, not physical. No.
Now, so what Cena was saying was,
Welcome to the shoot, Arrow baby.
and what Dip was saying was,
I see. Uh-huh.
and what Cody said was,
You're
not
hurting
a-
me.
I thought you could say you're not a winner.
He's not a winner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, I just felt like I really enjoyed the Cody's sort of tone. Like I just thought Cody was in a really good. I thought it was a good Cody. Like he seemed like a tough guy. He kept it like real.
I agree with that. I agree.
I thought Cena, even though he's still tonally babyface Cena, the way it's the same yelling he's always done style wise. He did say stuff this time that I thought was compelling. Basically calling Cody a big mark for his tattoo, I thought was very funny.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys this: when he mentioned the line about you're just stealing money from billionaires' kids, do you think he was talking about, the WWE and Triple H and Stephanie and all that, or AEW, or all of the above?
Talking about Tony Khan, of course.
It was just Tony, but I didn't think that at first. I
thought it was Stephanie
I
McMahon,
thought it was
I thought it was the
shot.
McMahons.
Yeah, I was thinking McMahon's at first, and then I saw it again later. I was like, "Oh, you mean stealing Tony Khan?"
Yeah.
It took me a second to figure that out. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking. It just wasn't on my mind. Nothing else. John didn't mention anything else about Cody leaving and going to AEW, right?
No,
That was
I
the
think
only.
he did. He said
He
mentioned
said it
that he
multiple
left.
times.
Well, what was the
Yeah.
other thing he said?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but he made
I'm
reference
watching
to
it again
Cody
right now.
leaving.
Well, is it satisfying when you can't hear it? You're just
You just
staring
remind me-
off. You're just staring off at your TV without volume.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Hopefully he's reading closed captions.
I watched it very late at night and very early in the morning, and I'm just trying to remember what happened in the episode.
You're
while
watching.
I'm talking about it.
You're watching a third time, is what you're saying.
No, it took me a night and a morning to finish it.
Well, these are long promos.
These are long episodes of television.
And what are you getting from it as you're looking at us and then cutting over and looking to the side for a moment with no volume?
I need
I'm
Emilio to put the camera just on him for this segment too, by the way. He's looking at the TV, looking at us.
I'm looking at how horrible his suit is. Like Volt, I hate that suit.
It was not my favorite Cody suit.
And I usually love how he dresses, and I don't know.
I'm not
what the hell is that?
I'm not a big pinstripe suit man. I don't get it.
Thin pinstripes, not these gargantuan pinstripes.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I do not like the big pinstripe. Try to picture. What does a thin pinstripe suit look like?
Something it looks like that, but with thinner stripes.
I know, but I'm just trying to I'm gonna look that up though. Does he wear those sometimes?
He wears great stuff.
I know. I generally like his suits, although he does some very. He's very into like the chains and pocket watches.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, it's a lot of accessories.
The accessorizing with this man and the watches hanging and the chains. It's the man is
Because
going.
I feel like too, he looks great in a suit, but while we're talking about the accessories, you don't need the tie clip and the vest. If you have the vest, you absolutely don't need the tie clip. That's just to flex on us and be like, oh yeah, and I spent another $200 on the tie clip or whatever it is. You don't need both.
No,
are we very sure that Cody's winning this match?
No. His reign is done.
Oh, you think he's losing for sure?
Cody's losing.
Yeah, he's absolutely losing.
Well, listen, the oracles.
You see the shine on my head. That's where it comes from. I get it.
But I don't know if it extends to matches at WrestleMania.
I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Listen, I was off last year with the big one, but it definitely does extend to shocking results in matches at WrestleMania.
I'm going to make a prediction right now. Cody Rhodes retains the championship.
I mean, that's not a bold prediction. I would say SUG's take is bolder.
I feel like that's the least. I think this is not going to happen because it's the least interesting. I think Cena doing what he said he's going to do is more interesting than Cody retaining.
But isn't John the ultimate? And Dip will hate this. Isn't John the? It's funny that you predicted this because it's what you hate. Dip, you have to be rooting for Cena. This is what you all ever say is don't come back and lose every time.
I'm definitely rooting for Cena. Absolutely. I really want Cena to win this match, and I want The Rock to help him. And then I want Austin to come out and stun The Rock.
But you get the
that's happening. That's happening. And
some of that is definitely happening. I don't think all of it.
We're standing next to each other, and we're going to go, whoa!
But hold on. So you're envisioning a world in which Austin stuns Rock. Oh, but you said Cody retains. Okay, and then Cody retains. If Austin stuns Rock, I don't think Cena is winning.
Is there a world where Ric Flair helps Cena get to 17?
No. But I would love if Flair came out. I would think
it would be the opposite.
He should be in attendance, honestly. He should. Let's be real. He should be there.
Well, I think he's already said he's going to Mania.
Okay. I think
he's already
Flair,
listening to
him. He cost Cena the match. Because Flair's babyface. He cost Cena the match because he doesn't want Cena overtaking his 16.
Well, Flair could be anything. Does Flair hate
Dusty Rhodes more that he wants to keep the record?
That's the thing. They could have
There's a lot at stake here with Flair.
There is. He's a wild card.
They could have it go a lot of different ways with Flair if he were to be involved in it. Now, the question is, do they go big Michigas at the end of the match again, or has Cody already been involved in his share of big Michigas WrestleMania matches?
I think
Listen, his last 3 main events were big Michigas, including the tag match. So, like, I feel like they will. I don't think they go straight up. I think that's the hand they play. It's a pattern now.
I think we get Michigas galore in this match.
Yeah.
I think we get Mish and a Gus. Both. I think Michigas around every corner.
I think you're probably right.
I think multiple Michigas situations.
Michigasim.
I think there's gonna be a lot of Michigas in this Mania. I'm sensing a Michigas Mania.
Do you think they rename Mania Michigas Mania?
I'm sensing Michigas Mania. That's what they're gonna name this Mania.
So you're thinking Austin being the most likely involved?
I think Austin's involved. I think you get tons of Michigas with the triple threat. I think you get some. I don't know. I think you get on Raw. I think Monday Night Michigas as well.
Oh.
I think we get Aleister Black on Monday.
Well, he's on SmackDown. They've been advertising him on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. Maybe you get him on Raw though for the Monday after for something.
Nothing more exciting than a return that's advertised. But I will say, in the case of Aleister Black,
it wasn't outright advertised, but it was like heavily teased, and people feel like it's him.
I feel like in that
I
case,
didn't see this. I missed this. Did I miss this?
I missed it. I obviously missed it.
It's been like 3 weeks of vignettes.
But I've heard it rumored. In this case, I don't hate it though, because I don't know that Aleister Black gets a huge pop surprise for returning.
You don't think so?
Not really.
I think if the lights go down and they come up and he's sitting Indian style in the ring,
it'll get it's gonna get an ooh.
It's gonna get a reaction, but
no, it's gonna get an ooh and an ah. But like, what level? Ooh and an ah. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy he's back. It'll be cool. I wonder if they'll finally. But you know what? Put him with Zelina Vega and call it a day.
Yeah, she needs help too.
Stop. Like, she's don't just have her like with LWO because it's easy. Put her with her husband because what he needs is someone awesome talking with him. Guess what she's great at?
Well, she did break off from LWO, so you're halfway there.
There's so much going. There's so many LWO to me. The whole thing is so confusing. What the hell is going on with the LWO? I need clarity with the LWO.
Clarity on the LWO over the last couple of years is an absurd.
It's such a random thing. I need LWO clarity. If something is gonna be a world order, I need to know what world they're living in. Okay?
I got news for you. If you're waiting for LWO clarity in this era, you're going to be waiting forever.
I'm waiting by the phone for LWO clarity.
It feels like something that should have happened if it was going to happen.
I mean, by the way, we're getting to like lack of Judgment Day clarity, let alone LWO clarity.
There's very little clarity with Judgment Day.
Yeah, I feel like they're gearing up for a breakup.
Something. They've broken up 50 times. By the way, they're mad at each other every week.
You don't know how to judge?
They need a peer mediator, is what they need. The Judgment Day needs a peer mediation.
Of course, they're mad at each other, though. They're all judging.
It's a lot of judgment.
Who wants to be around a group with judgmental people like that? How are you supposed to react?
Do you think maybe they changed their name to the Judgmental Day?
I think so.
That seems to be what it is.
But isn't it crazy the difference a year makes? I mean, last year at this time, you get the Dom somehow turned into even more of a heel, Rhea out, Liv in, scorching hot. And a year has passed, and like it's time now for us to figure this out. Like Liv and Raquel are a thing. Mm-hmm. Liv and Dom almost feel like charity at this point. It doesn't feel like the thing anymore.
No.
Dom has not been getting his. Dom has not been prioritized over the last year.
No, Finn has now moved into that spot, essentially.
Finn feels more prioritized. Although they're together, they're still often involved. So,
you know what that means, though, right?
What's that?
If Finn feels more prioritized, that means that the knife is probably
in Finn's back.
Yeah, because that's how it happens, right? Edge was the priority. Got rid of him. Priest and Rhea got rid of them.
Maybe Aleister Black comes in and starts judging them. Maybe there's some judgment to do there.
But if I'm Finn, I wouldn't want that spot.
Knife in the back spot.
Yeah.
You know I love macabre versus macabre.
Yeah, sure.
I want macabre on macabre crime.
It's your favorite. It's your favorite kind.
Why bring? Let me change the subject. Why bring Tyler Bate back and with Pete Dunne and have them just job to New Day? They're so dope.
They just want the London. They got the London pop. New Day moves on for bigger things. It was a number one contenders match, right? So they weren't going to do that.
But they totally. I mean, by the way, Xavier Woods in the best shape of his life. The two of them look great.
They got matching tattoos.
They're totally cooled off, though. I mean, they had such a sexy thing going on with Big E. They cooled it immediately. Instant cooling. They're so great as the heels.
Tag teams have tough sledding in this company, bro.
Yeah.
Keeping your momentum as a tag team and not ending up in sort of like purgatory is really, really hard. And the Big E thing, it was just used as a tool to make them heels. But that was it.
That's it. I called that, by the way. I called that.
What, you said that it was not going to be anything?
Yes. I said this is what they did was just turn them heel. I said that at the time, for sure. I remember that.
Do you want to be called the Oracle now? I got to deal with both of you.
I oracled that.
No, the biggest Oracle.
He's the Oracle. I'm Dip Stradamus.
I'll take it.
Bigger than the number one oracling Damasing that happened this week was my description of the Jimmy and Jay match. I mean, the Jimmy Jay Gunther match.
I'm going to give you shared credit. You punched up my idea, but I'm a kind Oracle. I'm going to share credit with you. I said it, and you said, you know what they should do, and then you gave us that. I'm willing to share it with you. Put your hand on my hand. Let's share.
No, it's like saying Mario Puzo. He punched up the Godfather. I wrote it. I wrote the thing. I mean, that's it.
Let me say this.
That is what happened.
Woody Allen punched up Annie Hall. I mean, listen, the movie got written. They did Rocky. Although, I mean, it was good. It did what I thought it did what I thought it had to do.
It included blood.
I wasn't expecting blood.
More interesting.
I was not expecting blood.
We love the blood. We love blood.
No, we do. By the way, I got to tell you, you guys aren't in our group chat, and he won't ever hear us saying this because he hasn't listened to the show in close to a decade. Andrew Goldstein, if you guys think Dip is negative, Andrew Goldstein literally hates wrestling and thinks it's repulse. There's not a thing that happens on the show he doesn't hate. He texts our group after every single thing that happens to say that it sucks. I mean, Dip, you probably don't pay attention, do you?
I don't think Dip saw it.
Yeah, Dip's like avoiding spoilers.
I am avoiding spoilers because it's. I got to tell you. I got to tell you. and I love Ariel. He's okay. He's a friend of the court, Mr. Ariel Helwani. I follow Uncrowned because I love MMA and I love wrestling and I love Ariel, but it's become like the spoiler thing for me. I can't. I like wanted to. He's like instantly spoiling things. UFC, WWE, everything is immediately on that page.
Respectfully,
you got to stay off the social.
Yeah, unfollow.
I'm gonna have to unfollow. I have to unfollow. I'm gonna
follow his personal page and unfollow.
I follow it out of respect.
I give someone one respect follow. Are you giving multiple accounts for respect follow?
No, is what it is. I don't know what I'm doing.
But you can't following an account that literally just posts results for the things you don't want results. What's the upside of following? Just follow him.
Okay.
That one's on you.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That one is absolutely on you.
He's spoiling things, instantly spoiling.
For opening up the app too. You know how it gets on social media.
The moment a UFC thing is on, instant post the result of the second it ends.
But he's an MMA news site.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
That's where you're getting
give it a couple hours. Can I get a couple hours?
Absolutely not.
Their job is to get engagement. That's all that is cared about. And where are you gonna get the biggest engagement?
I hate the internet. Okay, I don't like it.
Well, I don't even think you should be there.
I don't like it.
If I were you, wouldn't even be there. What do you need it for? What does the internet do for you? You don't even understand it. You barely know how to use it.
I don't like it at all.
There's no purpose for you there. You got nothing there. What else happened on Raw this week? Was there any? There's something else that I'd want.
Shenanigans. As we called it on the main event.
Go ahead.
There was some shenanigans.
You talking about Bianca and Rhea and Io? All right, take us through it, SCJ.
Special referee Bianca. She does her best to try to keep it down the middle, but at one point she gets attacked by Rhea, and then attacked by Io. They try to make it look accidental, but I don't think it was that accidental. And by the end of it, she's double disqualification. She rings the bell. They're both done. Champion's advantage means Io retains, but champion's advantage also means that Rhea had a big problem with Bianca and her decision. So she laid them both out to close out Raw while she held the women's title in her hands. And for now, she might be out of the WrestleMania match. But I mean, listen, we know better. These shenanigans are going to get us to that triple threat because Bianca robbed both of them.
They've made this too complicated to get to the triple threat for something that we know where we're going.
They had to though, because I feel like Rhea just putting her name on the contract was too simple. But then if they don't, like, this is the only story where the people involved, and I'll say Jay and Gunther too, but definitely this one, where the people involved give us some action week to week to move it along. Like real action that we could sink our teeth into. So yeah, we knew when they were going to get to triple threat, but they definitely had to take the scenic route because they couldn't just get away with big promo at the top of the show like Cena, or one person a week is going to take on a promo segment like with Punk, Roman, and Seth before we finally get to the contract signing. You know, the three of these ladies, they had to have their working boots on to get us where we know they're going to go, and they're still not there.
So why didn't they just delay the part where Io won the title to throw everything off? That should have just been delayed a couple of weeks. They did it the day after Chamber, which immediately made us go, oh, triple threat. So we've been thinking triple threat already for a month. They could have just kicked the can down the road on that a little bit longer.
So let me ask you this. How long do you kick the can down the road, and then what beats do you go through to get us to WrestleMania?
I have no idea. My job isn't to actually know. I'm just telling you that this has been.
Just saying.
I'm just saying this has been. I don't recall a story. No, you know what? I'll say the same thing about the other triple threat.
Right.
I mean, I love you, Sam. Sam's having an emergency podcast because they made the triple threat match. What are you talking about? Emergency? That was the most telegraphed. It was done already.
As soon as Seth.
Not everything's an emergency. You can't be the boy who cried wolf, Sam Roberts. Okay?
Yeah. Seriously.
Not everything's an emergency.
As
All right?
soon as Seth double stomped Roman at the Royal Rumble, which I'm still not over, everybody knew it was triple threat. Everybody knew.
Let me tell you
In
what.
fact, we knew it was a triple threat when they announced Seth versus Punk for the Netflix debut and not a later date. We knew that was
We
a triple threat.
speculated. Yes, we did.
Let me
Well,
tell you, the only emergency this week, okay, was when I discovered that I ordered whole milk instead of oat milk in my cortado today. That was an emergency that I needed to take care of immediately. Okay?
because you'd be sick all day.
I was sick all day.
So let's just be clear then. If that's true, I just want to be clear. If that's true, you are lactose intolerant. Is that that's confirmed, correct?
Yeah, I think I'm. I
there's
can't
no
drink whole milk. Forget it. I mean, I could do like a little bit of creamer, and it'd be fine. But if I could do the creamer, the blah 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 creamer.
That's fake though. It's not even real milk.
Oddly, I don't know what the hell's in that. It's nothing. It's
poison. Confirmed poison.
It's poison.
It's death.
But,
Death in a
but
bottle.
if I drank a glass of whole milk, I might as well, as you know, what I say.
What about like a Breyer's vanilla ice cream?
It's a roll of the dice.
Then you're lactose intolerant. This is what lactose intolerant is.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
So
I'm just saying. No, there's no like. I'm not saying you should be shunned. I'm just saying, just so you know, if you say, if I have milk in my cortado by accident, it's an emergency. I'm just letting you know that's the definition of lactose intolerance.
Fine. I'm just telling you that is more an emergency than discovering that this is a triple threat match at WrestleMania. One is more emergency than the other.
How do you guys feel about my comparison I made the other day? That the colitis in Crohn's and colitis is disrespected similarly the way Tobago is in Trinidad and Tobago. Discuss.
It's absolutely true.
What about Turks and Caicos?
You wave that flag? No. Because
Caicos does great. Caicos does great.
Yeah. They call themselves Trini.
At least
who are the Tobagans?
Who are the Tobagans? At least Caicos
idea.
gets mentioned most of the time. People say, I'm going to Turks and Caicos. For short, gringos, we say, oh, going to Turks. Whatever. We don't even know that's a thing. That's what people say.
That's right.
But
at least at Caicos. We don't always mention Caicos.
In those moments.
Caicos
but at
gets
least
mentioned like 90% of the time.
It gets mentioned most of the time. With Tobago, everyone says they're Trini. They say, I'm going to Trinidad. You rarely get Tobago. It's just like colitis. Everyone's talking Crohn's. No one's talking colitis.
To your point, there's a song. It's a soca song. It's called Trinidad.
See?
And the song is all about how at the fets they big up every other Caribbean country and they big up Trinidad last.
And they
Tobago doesn't even get mentioned in that song about how Trinidad and Tobago don't get respect at the fets.
See? Do you see what I'm saying? This is what needs to be addressed. These are the issues that matter. I think about these things. I'm trying to think of what's another great dip. Are you racking your brain for another pair that doesn't get it?
Mm-hmm.
They're in very rarefied air, these two. And maybe there's a sibling. Maybe there's like a famous sibling thing where one gets mentioned, no one mentions the other.
Adam and Eve?
They're
always mentioned together. There's no Adam without Eve.
Famously not siblings.
They're a couple.
They're
a couple. It could be a couple too.
Yeah, a couple. Even Trinidad flag guy that's at all the WWE events. That flag is for Trinidad and Tobago, but he's the Trinidad flag guy.
Oh, it's the Trinidad. Exactly.
You ever been to Trinidad?
Never.
Tobago?
I'm going though one of these days.
Yeah, what about Tobago?
I feel like nobody's been to Tobago. It's just everybody's going to
I feel like Dip. I feel like Dip should stand behind Tobago because it sounds very similar as Tobago.
What do you think the best bagel in Vegas is? Should we try to figure that out?
The best bagel.
What's going to go on in this Vegas trip? This is such a.
I think I'm doing. I think I'm doing. I think I'm doing nothing. I think I'm going to be like, going to be working a lot. First of all, and then I think my weekend's going to be very long. These countdown shows are like 3 hours a day, right? Like there's Hall of Fame on Friday, so that's a very busy few days. And then I think that like there's so much the Vegas part of it makes it so nonsensy that I think I may really try to like be legitimately low key at the times I'm not doing the things. I don't know. I think it's going to be like overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed.
When everyone is in Trinidad, you're going to be in Tobago.
That's exactly right.
That's the move. That's the move.
When every Markadoodle do is going to Trinidad, I'm going to be in Tobago.
Let me tell you where I'm going to be.
They're going to be at the Fountain Blue.
Trinidad.
Oh, yeah. You got to be. The fountain, has there ever been, I'm answering, this is rhetorical. There's never been a Mania where they're so promoting a hotel.
That's not true. That's not true, P.
Go ahead.
What? They're not promoting the Marriott in Philadelphia.
No, they were promoting the Marriott Marquis at the WrestleManias in New York when we were growing up, though. How much did we hear about the Marriott Marquis back in the day? WrestleMania 10, this WrestleMania, that WrestleMania. Oh, they're going to be at the Marriott Marquis. Bagels and brunch. Lex Luger's doing this at the Marriott Marquis.
I guess so.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not as major as the Fountain Blue, but I mean, they were in a growth
By the way, in actuality, more mage.
In actuality, more mage, but
if your parents had been willing, if anybody knew a parent, and obviously no one on this show, because they couldn't have been black or Jewish, it just wouldn't happen.
No.
But if you were some lucky Gentile child whose parents said, Billy, we're going to New York and we're going to stay at the Marriott Marquis, we're going to the Bagels and Brunch, we're going to go to this, that would have been so much more mage, and like it would,
because you were going to see everybody. Bret Hart was at the Bagels and Brunch at the
if you had done that and gone to all the things, there were probably so few people who did it back then. You practically knew the wrestlers by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, I mean, the way it looks like WWE World is basically Fanatics Fest.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks crazy.
Yeah, Emilio said. Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go.
He mentioned Siegel's
Emilio said he went to Bagels and Brunch.
Siegel's Bagel Mania is something to talk about. But I bet you that Siegel, it's one of those places where you have like, Captain Crunch cream cheese, Fruity Pebbles cream cheese.
If you guys, I didn't have the chat open. The fact that you guys both had the chat open and didn't give Emilio credit to his great line.
What?
Which one?
Bosnia?
I only know one Bosnia. I don't know Herzegovina. I don't know that.
You don't know Herzegovina? How do you say
I don't know it. I don't know that.
I don't know Herzegovina.
That's that.
I don't know it either.
That's the full Bosnia. That's the name of the country.
No.
Yes, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina. Herzegovina. Bosnia Herzegovina is the full country.
At least people know Tobago. They don't say it, but at least they know it. So I feel like Bosnia and Herzegovina moved up to the gold medal spot.
The fact that none of us can properly pronounce it.
Where'd you added an N in there, Greg.
Herzegovina. Yeah, well, you weren't even close the first time either.
Yeah, Herzegovina.
But that's not how you say it. Like,
I'm sure
Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. By the way, I know you've heard it. You've heard it at the Olympics.
It sounds like an area in Brooklyn that Emilio's family's from. Herzegovina.
It's a great line by Emilio. And by the way, the Herzegovinians, they're behind Colitis, they're behind Tobago, they're getting no recognition.
Yeah. You go over the bridge, you take a left on Herzegovina. You make a left at Herzegovina, you go to Siegel's Bagel Mania on the corner.
SGG, what we should, this is where we don't normally weigh into the gossip on the show a lot.
Okay.
But the Swerve Strickland, Booker T, DJ Vlad of it all. The last I saw, from what I could follow,
right,
Swerve went on Vlad TV. Which, by the way, if you saw my comment on his page when he posted it, did you see my comment in the comment section? Oh, I was very early when he posted an interview. My response was, "You're talking to the feds?" ? That was my reply to Swerve.
Rhetorical question, because the answer is yes. By the way,
100% true.
Rhetorical question.
But so did he end up like in some way dissing Booker for like allowing Vince to use the N-word on television or something?
So what happened was Swerve's on Vlad TV and he's talking about various things. Somehow Booker T came up because Booker T, I guess he said something Swerve didn't like. And Booker T made a comment about, I've always been treated fairly at WWE, yada, yada, yada. Swerve brings that up in his talking to Vlad TV. And then Swerve goes, were you treated fairly when Vince said the N-word right in front of you and you couldn't do anything? Was that treating you fairly? He says this on Vlad TV. It gets back to Booker T, who posts, I guess he goes on his podcast. He didn't post it. I saw a transcription though. He talks about how he's disappointed in Swerve, and he told Swerve to his face that he's disappointed in him for a bunch of other things, but not only that, mainly for going on Vlad TV and allowing Vlad to pit two black men against each other. That Swerve should have known better because this is what Vlad does. Anybody who gives Vlad even a little bit of an examination or any scrutiny can see that this is what Vlad does. You shouldn't have used that platform. And he said multiple times to Swerve, you got played. You got played. You got Vlad to get you to now go at me, a guy who,
paved the way for you, basically.
Paved the way for you, and you got played, and I'm disappointed in you. And then Vlad comes out and said, because Booker T said he would have never done Vlad TV. Then Vlad comes out with a 5-year-old DM between him
Which
and
I saw that where he invited Booker, and whoever was running Booker's, responding to him on Booker's account, said, "I'd like to do it," blah blah blah, and then he never did it.
Right, never did it. I mean, which goes to prove what Booker was saying was right. You were talking.
I also deleted this tweet, but I did initially tweet in response to that. In Booker's defense, if that was him, 5 years ago, he may have not known that you were a pug culture vulture.
Seriously,
Booker's not that into hip hop culture online where he would have really known the ins and outs of Vlad. So he might have not realized that he was a piece of shit, respectfully, until now.
And exactly right. Why that tweet with the DM proved nothing is because everything that Booker T said about Vlad in 2025, April 1st, 2025, is not a joke. It's not a prank. It was absolutely true and absolutely real. And like you said, he might not have known that at the time that somebody else might have set up this interview that did not happen. If he actually had Booker T on camera interviewing him, you got him. You got him, but you don't.
I would just like to say I'm not a fan of DJ Vlad. We have a very, I'd say, a very unpleasant relationship at this point. He said horrifying things about me recently. But I will say this, Vlad, because you called Booker a liar. I would like to put up $500 American for you to call Booker, as they say, out of his name in any way whatsoever to his face. I will give you 500 crispy American dollars, and I know you love a dollar. I will give you 500 smackaroos if you are willing to call Booker T a name like liar to his face.
And I feel so confident that that's not going to happen, P, that I will add to your donation $1 whole. Let's see.
$501?
501. 501. Let's see you do something, Vlad.
Because I promise you one thing. I know Book quite well. Two things. One, his hands, Booker's hands, are like two gosh darn tootin' baseball mitts. His hands are gargantuan and knuckly. His hands are all knuckle. I swear to God, this is a man who I've dapped up many. His hands are like all knuckle. And Booker is a professional. He does his job. He doesn't want problems.
Hands as all knuckle is crazy.
You don't. Book is also what, pushing 60?
Yeah.
By the way, he's also,
that don't mean nothing.
By the way, he's also wearing Hall of Fame rings. The level of smack fireness that are in that man's hands, DJ Vlad, are really insane. I would just pipe down, relax. You look like a Talmudic scholar. Chill out.
I'll give you $500 if you can describe to me who this person is that you're talking about.
you've heard it. You've heard the name before.
Barely.
Vlad TV
Barely.
doesn't ring a bell.
No.
Oh, CP,
That's
he
not on
is
my
off
radar.
the internet. He
I'm
does
finally
stay off the
over
internet.
like the academics bullshit, and I finally
He's
know
like-
who that is.
He's
Now I-
like the father of academic style in some ways. Like he's
Is
been
this
doing
another schmegeggery situation.
DJ Vlad has been doing interviews with people for like 15 years. He
Mhm.
pays people for interviews.
Mhm.
You know what they are? They're actually hip hop shoot interviews.
They are. They are.
That is what he is famous for. He pays people to sit down and talk shit about other people. Very often, like snitch on crimes that have been committed. It's horrible, horrible content, but many people we love have taken a buck to do it. Some people who you couldn't even fathom how they could need the money. You couldn't even, like, when I try to understand why, like, a Nick Cannon or like some other people that I know and love have sat with this guy for what must be $3,000. I do not understand it. I guess they get views too. So people, like, if you want to get content out there that gets, views, his channels do well. The little story that would never have made it to this show, but my One Ep listeners have heard. The reason I don't like him, besides the fact that I find his content to be putrid and disgusting, when I met him, and this is like, I'm sure he would challenge this, and I'm sure he'd say whatever. When I met this guy, when I first got to New York and was getting popping, my YouTube channel was like growing at that time. Like, unfortunately, I stopped caring about it. I probably have the same amount of followers now, but within like 10,000 of what I had then.
You say unfortunately? Fortunately.
Maybe fortunately.
Yeah.
It worked out. Thank you. I appreciate that, SGG. Good point. Thank you. But at the time, I've got, my 30, 40,000 followers on YouTube, which in those days were much more than they are now. And I meet him somewhere, and he's like, yeah, man, talking to me about money that can be made on YouTube. These are in the days when regular people didn't even know there was money to make in YouTube. Like, I didn't even know money to make in YouTube was a thing. And I'll just never forget it. He was like, listen, man, I can definitely help you make some money. You just got to give me the credentials to your account. And if you give me your login info, the second those words came out of his mouth, when it was the first time I've met this guy, I was just like, all right, buddy, talk to you later. Never talk to him again. I was like, I've known you for 40 seconds and you just asked for my Gmail login and password.
Right.
Good. And that was my real relationship with DJ Vlad. Now, prior to all that, he was a mixtape guy too. His mixtapes, I never listened to one, but they were a thing. But anyways, I just hope he doesn't have any more words for Booker. We could get another WrestleMania match.
We could.
Now, guys, we're also very close to AEW Dynasty. MJF, I thought, was going to join MVP and the Hurt Syndicate this week. And when he agreed that he wanted to join them, Bobby Lashley showed up and ruined the party and did not want MJF to join the Hurt Syndicate and MVP.
Mhm.
It's obviously something that's going to happen eventually, right?
I would think so. I would think Montel Vontavious Porter is going to talk things over with Bobby Lashley and explain the value that having someone of MJF's profile would bring to the Hurt Syndicate.
What does that mean? Having someone of MJF's profile.
Well, he's one of the biggest stars in the business. Having him join the Hurt Syndicate wouldn't be an upgrade to the Hurt
I think
Syndicate's
it'd be good
profile?
for the Hurt Syndicate, Greg.
That wouldn't be good for their profile?
Come on.
You've got the tag champions already, right?
Mm-hmm.
You add MJF, a one-time and maybe future world champion. That's a strong syndicate. Am I wrong?
Pretty good
I
syndicate.
mean, you're not wrong. Maybe I'm just racial profiling.
You don't think he belongs? Oh my God. First of all, it's not the Nation of Domination, and they had Owen Hart.
But they had Owen Hart, yeah.
And Crush.
I was gonna say also
Crush.
remember the original Nation of Domination? It was more
And those
like
two little rapper guys.
Rainbow Coalition. They had it was because wasn't Savio Vega in the original Nation of Domination?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who were the two little guys? The two little rapper guys? that came out?
Oh
Remember?
yeah, the rapper guy. Wasn't one of them white?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think they were both white.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Also, I am excited to see this Megan Bain character get a match with Tony Storm at Dynasty.
Yeah.
When is Dynasty? Is that this weekend?
Dynasty is this weekend.
Tony Storm is something else, man. Woof.
Yeah,
She's a worker.
I enjoy Timeless Tony. She makes me laugh on a regular basis. For some reason, the line it would be an interesting thing to study. The best gimmicks in wrestling when it's completely ridiculous but still works. It's such a blurry line of like, we're going to go completely over the top, just suspend disbelief completely for this whole bit. But it completely works, especially now in this postmodern era where the idea of fully being into character like that is kind of not done.
I would
Pretty cool.
say The Undertaker would be a good example of that.
Yeah,
It worked well for The Undertaker, sure.
I would say Papa Shango was
Kind of a
most
different-
likely most likely in real life he wasn't a witch doctor.
yeah, but I mean, to this,
I don't
level,
think people suspended the disbelief.
When
I think
that
they did. I think they
black
disbelieved.
shit was
they
flying
definitely
down
suspended
Warrior's
the belief,
face.
but it didn't go this high for this long. Like Undertaker's definitely in the number one spot right there.
Did you hear that? I saw a clip that Bret Hart was on with Ariel Helwani today,
Yeah, it was a great interview. I listened to it.
and I just heard the quote when he said that Hulk Hogan recently said that the problem with Bret Hart is he believes he's the greatest wrestler of all
I
time.
love that quote. He was like,
And Bret was like, that's probably the most truthful thing Hulk Hogan's ever said.
yeah.
I truly appreciate the self-awareness from Bret. I'm glad he's at that place in his life where he knows that Bret does think he's the greatest of all time. But it's a reasonable claim.
Yeah, he's never said he was pretending with that he's the greatest.
And Dip, he followed it up by making a great point too, where he's just like, if you look at pro wrestling today, more or less what he said, I'll say it even better than he did, but what he was trying to say was, take a look around. How many people do you see emulating Hulk Hogan style? How many people do you see emulating Bret Hart style?
Yeah.
I know. It's so true, by the way.
And it's not even just like his style in the ring. There's different elements of his style that have gone in like all different directions. Like some people take the way he sells and they've excelled at that. Some people got the technical mastery and the way he does the moves and excels with that. Some people take like the little things that he did to connect with the fans. Like Cody giving away his weight belt. It was very Bret Hart with the glasses.
That's
and
all
they
Bret
excelled
Hart.
with that. Yeah.
Anytime you give a merch accessory to a fan, that Bret started that. Right? Is Bret the first person ever to do that?
That's a good question. Did anyone?
I don't know if he was the first, but nobody did it with as much success as he did.
Well, did any babyface give away stuff every time before Bret? Because Bret, it was every time. Basically, once he was on top, it was every time.
That was the dream, man. I used to see those. Oh my god.
Yeah, bad.
The dream for me was that I thought I had the Montreal Screwjob sunglasses, and it was ruined on a stupid TV show.
I thought you did too. Yeah, that was a stupid TV show.
What a
Who do you
waste of
think
time that
emulates
was.
Bret's style the most right now? Who would you say emulates his style the most if you had to say?
In ring, I
Yeah.
would say Roman.
Roman.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I would say
Explain
Roman. It's not because it was never about the moves. It was about how he sold and like the things he did with his body to make other people's moves look good and to sell and to push the realism of this is actually a fight and push that illusion and make the fans buy in and believe no matter who the opponent was. Like whoever the opponent was, Bret always gave
Did he
them
say
enough.
this in the interview, Bret?
Did he
Are you
say that?
stealing from the interview?
I am not, but he did. I've always said this about Roman. I feel like Bianca as well, Sammy as well, and that aspect of selling and hooking the fans, they excel very well at that, and that's why they are where they are right now. And I think they got that. That's an aspect of Bret's style that gets overlooked because people pay attention to like the chain wrestling, and he's the greatest technical wrestler and the moves and da. But it was also the way he took that front turnbuckle and looked like he got hit in the chest with a cannonball, and like the facial expressions that he made when he was in pain, and like the subtle movements that he made. Roman does that, Bianca does that, Sammy does that, and I think that really is the secret sauce more than just like the moves and being able to be spectacular and impress the crowd.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not buying Roman Reigns.
No.
That was a very SGG convenient answer. That
He says
guy
it in the interview. He gives
I just
Roman
said,
that nod.
did you steal that from the interview? And you said no.
I've said that here before. I've said that in the text.
Greg, I just said to you 2 seconds ago, did he say that in the interview? And you said no. And then
you said, did I steal that from? You said, did I steal that from the interview? I did not. I have always said.
But you didn't. But you left out. You left out that he did say it in the interview.
Yeah.
He said something like that. He didn't say exactly that. He said something. If you listen to the interview, he says something like that. I feel vindicated in feeling
somebody
that Roman
disbar this guy.
One of those guys.
Okay? Or give him an extra bar. Maybe you need 2 bars. You're so good at the lawyering.
He doesn't meet the bar.
I retired one.
He's above the bar.
Yeah, he's above the bar. I'd have to think about that. I'm proud to be your hero. Who is the most Bret Hart like? By the way, Bret is either, so you could either use the word petty or loyal, though, that when he says, he's like, people emulate, my style and the people that I wrestled with. And then he only mentions like his immediate circle.
Yeah. I would say
me, Dynamite Kid, Owen, Mr. Perfect. Like, I thought he mentioned Shawn.
Shawn is on that
myself,
list.
Shawn Michaels.
A lot of people emulate Shawn.
The 2 most influential wrestlers to me are Bret and Shawn in a lot of different ways. But I feel like those 2, them coming together at that time and then doing what they did, it was very brief, but it means so much to what happens after that.
Flair's pretty influential as well, sure.
I feel like Flair's influential. The way Flair is influential is just one-dimensional, though. It's just like on the mic.
No.
Come on.
He's the best
seller he's like the best seller of all time, in my opinion.
He is absolutely not the best seller of all time. Bret and Shawn are the 2 best sellers of all time.
But Flair's style is different, but it is great. It's great. And it had influence too. I mean, not everybody does sort of his cartoonish way of selling, but it is pretty damn entertaining.
No, it was absolutely entertaining. But that's
on Patreon. Did you not watch his match with the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers that we watched on Patreon? Patreon.com/StayMage.
I definitely watched it. Watched it twice. But no, Flair is definitely entertaining. But that's what people take from it, like the entertaining piece of it. And I feel like with that, it only really translates to how they do the promos, like the wrestler voice being over the top, and Flair's promo work is everywhere, but it really is just the promo work.
Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. We have to give credence before we end the episode. You got to give credence to Cody, of all people, dropping the best part he had was when Cena talked about Cody being created and him being like, you were created by one guy in an office and he's not here anymore. We're not even allowed to mention him. Is that what he said?
Yeah. He said, we don't talk about him ananymore.
And we don't talk about him anymore.
Crazy.
Stiff. Right? That's a stiff one from Cody.
The brilliance of that coming from Cody is that when Cody came back, WWE didn't change anything. So he left to the indies. He got the blonde hair. He got the song. He got the gear, the robes, and he came back as a entity that he created that WWE didn't change at all. So for him to say that to Cena, he's one of the only people on the roster that could say that to Cena.
And you could argue, and John, if Vince basically created John, and I don't know the extent to which he did, but if he did, you are still the exact same thing that you were.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Deb.
I was going to change the subject to something that I'm witnessing on the TV right now.
All right, well, one more thing then. I also want to say one more thing I like about John Cena, this version of him. There's something about like his body type has changed. He does look a little different when he walks to the ring.
He walks like a little duckish.
Yeah, and he fits his shirt differently too. He looks different. I mean, so he may just be a bit thinner.
You think when he takes off his shirt at WrestleMania, we're going to see some I mean, he walks around that world championship weight with that world championship look. You think we're gonna see something different?
I don't know. I just feel like he looks different right now when I see him week to week. He does physically look different in some way.
What if he takes off his shirt and to troll Cody, he has a big splotch on his stomach?
That would be mage. Or he gets a big, huge neck tattoo. What were you going to say, Dip, that went on the TV that you had to mention? Is it about Evolve this Wednesday night on Tubi?
No, but we love it. Swipe right. We love Peter Rosenberg. We love Rod Stone.
We love him.
Penta takes the clean loss.
Penta this week
for the first time.
Penta.
Yeah, Penta. And then you have Rey Fenix coming in next week, debuting. Is this the beginning of Penta Schmenta?
Is that what do you mean? Are you saying he becomes?
Are we getting Penta Schmenta?
By the way, sorry, they announced Rey Fenix is in next week.
Yeah,
he's coming to SmackDown next week. Yep.
What's
maybe
going
this
on?
week?
Wait, why are they announcing every?
They're back to announcing things. They're also back to a lot of crowd noise. By the way, that's very back.
And by the way, while we're naming lots of things that we didn't get in as the episode's ending, not impressed with London's crowd on Monday either.
Oh, what? They were nuts. I mean, they're
fine.
I gotta say,
that part's fine, but that's going into business for yourself. I feel like the actual cheering and I haven't been impressed by this.
They piped it in. They're piping in the booze. They're piping. There's a lot of piping. There's piping.
I gotta say, what I didn't like with the London crowd, if you're gonna do the whole Cody Rhodes, I don't need you to then at the end of the show go Roman Reigns. I know Paul Heyman loved it. I know Roman said he loved it.
They must love it.
But again, if you're gonna give that to Cody Rhodes, because then on Monday they did Io Sky, and I'm gonna say, please, that's a Cody Rhodes chant for my tribal chief. I need some new bars. So by the next time they go to London, Cody can have his little Cody Rhodes chant. I want something else for Roman Reigns. Otherwise, it is what you said. It's just them sort of going into business for themselves, especially with that Cody Rhodes promo with Randy Orton on SmackDown when you did the chant, they got it, and now Randy's trying to get through the promo, and every time he says Cody, you break into the chant and you add another 30 seconds to the promo.
Yeah, I just feel like just going off and doing like soccer chants to me, it doesn't make a good crowd.
I guess you're right.
Like I just overall, like I feel like the crowds have gotten progressively worse as the Euro trips went on, as the tour's gone on. The beginning was like lights out, and interestingly, they get to the end, and now we're in English-speaking countries, and I feel like they understood less of what was going on. Glasgow and London did not super impress me, honestly, and with like the big spots in those shows.
Why did you no sell Penta Schmenta?
Because I didn't really understand what you were saying. Like, why?
Because I think he got all the hype. They got all the Penta hype, and now he's lost. And Rey Fenix is coming next week. What are they going to do with him? Are they going to tag? Are they not going to? Are they going to keep them away from each other? I mean,
Penta's going to Smack. You said Penta SmackDown, right?
No, Rey Fenix.
Ray's SmackDown.
Yeah. So they're keeping them away from each other.
Yeah, they're going to start out away from each other.
Of course. But to get back to the European crowds thing, P, I think what happened with the European crowd is what I see on reality TV a lot. Is they do a thing and then they get praised for that thing, these reality TV stars, and then their whole personality becomes that thing, and then very quickly people get over that thing, but they're still stuck doing the thing. And that's what happened with these European crowds. They got praised so much for Lyon, France, and how they reacted, that now they did a whole European tour, and it was like, we love this in doses. But now that this is the reality, we don't know if we really mess with this. And 3 weeks was too large of a dose, I think.
Yeah, maybe it was just too much in a row. I'm sorry. I love Europe. Big Europe guy. Big fan.
I love London.
I want to go to the. I hope I get to go to the Paris show at the end of the summer. I would love to go, but like by the end, I was like, all right. By the way, though, it is strange. Who do they have lined up for the Raw after Mania? If they're just going to randomly trot out Aleister Black and Rey Fenix 2 weeks before Mania. Like, what's the point of bringing them in right now? It's going to be very interesting to see what the point is of that.
I think maybe the Wyatt Six come back. Maybe that's something you get.
I mean, that's something that you will be freaking out for. Is that going to really pop a crowd big time the night after WrestleMania?
I guess it depends on the execution.
Something adjacent.
Something like that.
Something adjacent.
Well, like, what's the big thing you're pulling out night after Mania? Because I would have thought, honestly, I would have teamed Rey Fenix and Penta together the night after Mania. Penta wins the IC title at WrestleMania. The next night he's tagging with his brother. Not that they're fully together, just like one night to pop the crowd, and then they go on their separate ways.
Penta needs to win the IC title. If he doesn't, I'm telling you, we're entering Penta Schmenta territory.
Well, I worry about that. I hope we don't enter Penta Schmenta. All right, guys, we will see you on a Patreon episode at some point this week. Please enjoy Evolve on Tubi. Great show. Great top tier program.
You don't get 45 minutes of wrestling better than that.
You really don't. It's so short. God, it's fantastic. You're gonna love it. You're just gonna love it. Stay mage, guys. We'll talk later this week.
Stay mage.
Enjoy yourselves.